believe that bruises that are gifted by hands that once held the expectation of protecting hurt a little more than those that come from strangers. At least they never promised you with serenading eyes. Strangers don't give birth to levees now broken, no longer holding back the water that falls from lips busted during violent thrusting in and out. This space that once held fairy tale-like potential now eclipsed into permanent midnight color. Strangers don't hold your hand with honor, only to squander away its possibilities because the ego has its need to be fulfilled by fear. Strangers don't earn your confidence, and boogeymen don't step out looking like boogeymen in the light. It would have cut less into the heat of my life if the thief that stole my right to be woman were unknown to me like an unopened bill. Instead, he wore a sophisticated coat and an expensive smell and a smile I invited into the center of my comfort zone, an exquisite face and a familiar name. A name I saved and called and contacted using my voice, a name that leapt from my lips like unicorns dashing through valleys of musical pearl roses. Bill, Bill, Bill. I sang his name in unrestricted harmonies. I let him know me. Did he see inside of my head whispers and decide to punish me for daring to be Jezebel with the way I held his hand? It's like my chromosome was his public enemy. He approached me seductively with no knives to my back and no guns to my side. This non-stranger with a familiar name bore armfuls of my trust and reassurance and used it as duct tape across my lips. I blessed him with my time, gifted him my benefit of the doubt. I gave him the right to see me dance with high twirls of lifted cheekbones, smiling all up in his beautiful, sacrificial Dear Diary entries falling in his lap, my gospel truth stolen, the youth taken from my step, my dreams now sloppy, sleeping with fingers on switchblade handles, gripping the panic button when I sleep. This is a nightmare on colored girl sheets, devoured and manipulated and treated to slave regimen by a man who was an encouraged visitor, but not a proposed alien like transient who hopped out of the alley while I was carrying in my groceries. He was his own intentional intruder. He became my white man on a cotton field while I was still trying to yield to be open to love again. And the only mask he wore was the one that never showed across his face. His hands were not beastly. His eyes weren't red. It wasn't no horns coming out of his head. Only inner demons fighting away my power. He wore a gray suit and gave me flowers and his coat when I got cold. He walked me home in the rain. He gave me reason to sinfully believe in a non-stranger with a familiar name.